Off we go. It's the Ryan Hartson Show on the BWC Network. I am Ryan Hartson. Just got done breaking down your NFL in less than 15 minutes. And I do have to say, once again, I was brilliant. I was spectacular. I don't know what you thought, but I thought that was some of the best radio I've ever pulled out. I was just great. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Giants and the Saints. And there's an advertisement playing. And I'm going to shut off the sound. There we go. All right. So, let's break this thing down. Giants Saints in New Orleans. The Giants are really good. This thing being in the Superdome makes all the difference. Now, I'm watching this game for one reason. I think it's a pretty good reason. Green Bay plays the Giants next week. And the New Orleans Saints, we said this in September when the Saints and Packers are playing each other on opening night. The Saints and Packers are mirror images of each other. Mirror images of each other. Franchise quarterbacks. Elite skill people. The defenses, at that time we said the defenses are elite. Now you would just say they are opportunistic defenses that give up a ton of yards. Mirror images of each other. Both are elite teams in the NFC. I think they're the two best teams in the NFC. Green Bay and New Orleans are the two best teams in the NFC. San Francisco, because of their quarterback, is limited. Because Alex Smith is their quarterback, they are limited. I don't care how many games they win. I don't care. Bill Parcells is the one that said, "You are what your record is." It's a load of crap. It's a load of crap. Complete junk. You are not what your record is. Your record is dictated by the teams you play. If you play in the NFC West, and the teams you play against are like... Now listen, they played the NFC East and the AFC North. Two great divisions. And that's fine. It's fine. I'm happy for them. But really, you play in the NFC West, and you play a style of football that's pretty easy to take from place to place. That's fine. In the playoffs, you go to Green Bay, go to Lambeau Field. Go ahead. Go to Lambeau Field. And who's your quarterback? Oh, Aaron Rodgers. And when he scores 21 quick points on that secondary that won't be able to match up with Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Jermichael Finley, Andrew Corliss, Tom Crabtree, John Kuhn, James Starks, Ryan Grant in the backfield. That's too much. You can't handle that. I can't handle that. And all of a sudden you're down 21-0, and Alex Smith has to make throws. Then Charles Woodson picking passes off, running the other way. You're out of luck. The 49ers can't play with the Packers. I don't think they can. I don't think the 49ers can play with the Packers. Why? You're limited at quarterback. You have to have a franchise quarterback. Giants fall into that category. And you have to have an elite pass rush, but only elite defensive line pass rush, where you bring in 4 people. Giants fall into both those categories. That's why I have targeted for a month now the Giants are the team that can beat the Packers. So I look at this game tonight. The Giants are going to play New Orleans very similarly to how they're going to play Green Bay, with one caveat. Tonight they're in a dome. Next Sunday they're in New York with the wind swirling, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have a little bit of a hard time throwing the football. So it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little easier for the Giants next week. And that's because of the weather. The weather is a factor. On the other side, you got Drew Brees, who's an elite franchise quarterback, Hall of Fame, all-time great, super-duper, rock star, awesome quarterback, who's thrown a few picks this year. He's on pace to throw for 5,200 yards, as is Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. He's going to throw a bunch of touchdowns. He might throw a couple picks. He's kind of a pick guy now, which is weird. I think with Drew Brees, with Tom Brady, I said it's because he's getting older, which I still think that's true. Like, Tom Brady didn't stop getting older. He's still getting older. That's why he's throwing more picks. It's the same thing that happened to Peyton Manning last year. Brees, I don't think it's age. I don't think it's age with Brees, because he's still throwing for all these yards, and it's unbelievable, right? He throws the ball like 50 times a game. So if you're throwing the ball 50 times a game and 1 or 2 go the other way, I'm not going to blame you for that. Because when you have that much information to process and you make a couple mistakes, that's all right. You're a human being. It's fine. I get it. Now, when they're pick sixes late in games in big moments, that's a little different. But he's throwing them in like the second and third quarter when momentum isn't shifting as much as it can, because Brees can go right back down and score a touchdown if he needs it. Because he is as prolific gets. Score when you need to. That's what the Saints offense does. They score when they need to. It's in the Superdome. That pass rush is gonna have to deal with a solid New Orleans offensive line that's playing at home. They play brilliant at home. We all know that. And can Eli Manning match Drew Brees throw for throw? That's the bottom line. Can you match him up throw for throw? What is the Giants defense going to do with Darren Sproles? I have no idea. No one knows what to do with Darren Sproles. Right? He's a maniac. This comes down to the Giants. Because the Saints are going to go out and play their game. We know the Saints are elite. They're going to go out and play their game. Drew Brees is going to throw the ball around a little bit. Defense is going to try to turn it over. Not going to get much of a pass rush because that's just not who they are. But they have the quarterback to back it up. The Giants, if they can rush the passer and Eli Manning can make timely throws, like he's been doing all year, the Giants can win this football game. But if he throws a couple picks, he gets sacked, takes sacks, and the pass rush can't touch Drew Brees, it'll be over. I think this is going to be really close. I think it's going to be really close. I think it's going to be really competitive. I think the Giants are going to keep it close, but I think Drew Brees at home against the Giants, I think it's too much. I think it's too much. Drew Brees being at home, being as great as he is at home, I think he is too much for the Giants. Because, listen, this is at the Superdome. Your pass rush isn't going to be as effective. And Eli sometimes is more effective on the road, but, we will definitely see. I mean, this is one of these we are going to find out how good the Giants really are. I think they're going to stick with New Orleans for 4 quarters, but I think you're going to see Drew Brees pull out a couple touchdowns late, and that'll be the end of it. But if Eli has the ball last, the Giants will win the game. Because Eli is brilliant in the 4th quarter. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So that's the game tonight. Giants and Saints. Giants win this game. You move on. You play Green Bay. I think they can beat Green Bay. And you've won a couple games that maybe people thought you would have lost. I'm picking the Saints, though. I think the Saints are going to pick this one up. And then I think the Giants are going to go home and they can beat Green Bay at home. And then you split these 2 games and you move on to Dallas. And that's really ultimately what you want to do. Split these 2 games, one way or the other. This is a huge stretch in the Giants season. These next 3 games are massive. New Orleans tonight, Green Bay next week, the Cowboys after that. Huge. Massive games. You'll probably drop this one, and then you go home and you got the Packers. And the Packers in New York, I think the Packers are pretty beatable in New York. I think you can beat them there. I think Aaron Rodgers having a hard time in that swirling New York wind, I think that would happen, and I think the Giants pass rush will do the rest, and Eli Manning make throws when he has to. And I think that's kind of be how it goes. However, the Packers, the way they played in Detroit last week, I mean, they really look like an undefeated team. They look like they can win every game. And we will see. We will see. Eli looking to change that. You're probably going to drop this one. So there you go, Saints and Giants. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I might be back tomorrow. If this game was interesting, I'll be back to talk about it tomorrow. There's no doubt. I'll see you then. It's the Ryan Hartson Show on the BWC Network.